Okay, so I'm going to start off by warning everyone that there may be some audio cutouts during this video. That is out of my control. It's just something that the record narration function does for some stupid reason. And no, that stupid reason is not me censoring anything. Right, so I'm gonna say this. I don't care if this video gets 100 views or 1,000,000 views. What I do know is that I'll probably get some massive amount of hate for saying this. But you know what? I'm not going to apologize for this because this needs to be said. Shut the fuck up about Harambe, or however you pronounce his name. This entire event has been blown way out of proportion. Look, I get it. You're pissed about the death of an endangered animal. A majestic silverback gorilla. I get it. I'm sad about it too. But the people who are claiming that it didn't have to happen this way are the same people who are completely ignoring the facts. Everyone seems to have been hoping for a perfect situation. And yeah, okay, I understand that. Everyone wants a perfect situation. You want your if you bake bread, you want the bread to turn out perfectly. If you make an IKEA shelf unit, you want that shelf unit to end up perfectly. But let's face it, perfect perfect outcomes don't just happen. They so slim. Like, I've got a shelving unit behind me. Put it together to the best of my abilities, and you know, it's off. One of the set of holes is off, and so, yeah. That wasn't my fault either, because the holes were already there, so, you know. But anyway, everyone wanted this entire situation to end up as the perfect outcome. And I don't blame you. But the chances of it were so impossibly slim. Like, you'd have a better chance of having Jesus himself come from the heavens above, pluck the child out of Harambe's arms, or grip or whatever, and hand him a stress ball and say, here, use this instead. This perfect situation would have seen Harambe tranquilized, the child unhurt, and, well, everyone coming out of this safe and sound, happy. Harambe would wake up a few minutes later feeling a bit groggy, but, well, he's fine. The child's learned a lesson to, I don't know, never peek over the edge, or I don't know what he was doing, how he fell in there. But, you see, that perfect situation is like 1 in 1,000,000. I don't know the math myself, like, but it's not going to be a very large percentage. You've seen that video. If you're watching this, then you have seen that video. If you haven't, then fucking go watch it. But still, you saw how Harambe was treating that child. Was dragging him around. This is totally unlike an event that an incredibly similar event that happened back in 1986, I think, here in the UK, when a 6-year-old boy fell into a gorilla enclosure and, well, he was surrounded by gorillas. And the big male one came along and he just poked him a bit. And seemed to understand that something wasn't right here, and this child was, or this being was hurt. And so he protected it, like maybe some sort of fatherly instinct. Who knows? And he protected this child until the zookeepers came along and, yeah. Harambe, not so much. I learnt this just a few hours ago, that every animal is different. I got this from the Lion Whisperer channel. And I know it's lions, but every animal is different. Like, you can have some male lions in these lion sanctuaries or whatever. They'll be totally fine with strangers in their field of view. If there's a bunch of tourists a few feet away, won't care. It's just another bunch of people. But some of them won't like it. If you're in his field of view and he doesn't know you, he's gonna be growling, and if there wasn't a fence in your way, in his way, well, he'd probably start mauling you. Harambe is no different. Harambe treated this child like a toy because, well, he didn't know what it was. He knew it was alive, it was making noises, but he couldn't tell if it was in distress or not. He was in distress because everyone was screaming and shouting. Like, okay, I realise I'm probably waffling a bit. I don't make much sense to myself sometimes. I am Aspergic, but the fact is, everyone wanted the zookeepers to tranquilize Harambe, and yeah, in my place, I would have done the same. I would have tranquilized him. But there's no telling what could have happened, because, you see, there's a very common misconception that tranquilizers are instant, or near instant. Like, you see on TV, someone gets hit with a tranquilizer dart, and they're like, oh my god, I got the dart in me, and they fall to the ground, fast asleep, so to speak. Real tranquilizers don't work like that. It has to go through your system at, like, completely, and then you fall asleep. Have you ever seen an animal that's hit with a tranquilizer dart? They bolt. It doesn't matter if it's a deer or a lion. They jump and they belt it until the tranquilizer starts to take effect. They slow down and then eventually drop down asleep. Who knows what Harambe would have done? Would he have bolted and immediately released his grip on the child and bolted off in some direction and eventually fallen asleep? Or would he have kept his grip and caused further damage to the child? Well, we don't know that. We will never know it, I guess. But at the same time, they didn't know it at the time. They had no idea what was going to happen. So, you know, they had to make the hard decision. A really hard decision. Do they tranquilize the gorilla and risk potentially killing the child anyway? Or do they kill the gorilla and leave the child unharmed, but alas, kill the gorilla and, well. They were in between a rock and a hard place. Because if they'd left the entire situation alone, they would have gained a lot of shit if that child had died. But they would also have probably gained a lot of shit had the gorilla been tranquilized and the child had died anyway. And then, well, there was the third option. They kill the gorilla and they still garner a lot of shit for killing the gorilla. And people are always saying, no, they should have done it another way. They should have done something else. They should have tranquilized it. You know, maybe it was the wrong decision. Who knows? But I think it was the right decision. And yeah, I know, we placed the value of a human life above that of an endangered animal. I'm pretty sure there are some people out there who would have said, why did we kill the gorilla? Just fuck it, there's 7 billion humans. Let the human die. There's plenty of other humans to go around. As I said earlier, they would have gained a fuck ton of shit for the death of either. And so now the internet is littered with some of the just such brainless total shit out there. It's just, I mean, here we are in the midst of this fucked up world. President Assad using chemical weapons on his own people. And here the United States and fucking people all over the world are more concerned about the death of a single gorilla that was killed for the right reasons. And people, they're convinced this isn't some parody or something. Like, they think this is some social statement that they're making. Yeah, I'm sure that Harambe is looking down from gorilla heaven right this moment and smiling at your "dicks out for Harambe" comment that you just made on that video over there. The shit that's going around, it's just total bonkers. Like, you got shit going A, B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, etc. And notice anything missing? Yeah, the D is out for Harambe. Oh. Then you got another video that the thumbnail saying Harambe was heroic. Yep, very heroic. Dragging a child along, causing it distress, possibly thinking about killing the child. Yeah, that was heroic, wasn't it? And fucking Lex Luthor was a hero as well. I just don't get this. And what left me totally speechless just a couple days ago was the news that Western pranksters had invaded this Chinese petition thing, and well, the story goes that there was a baby gorilla at Jinhua Zoo or something like that in China, and Western pranksters came along and sabotaged the vote so that the number one choice was. I'm gonna lose a few brain cells from saying this. Harambe McHarambeFace. After Boaty McBoatface a few months ago. Fortunately, as it turns out, this entire thing was a fabrication. It was a hoax. But I'm pretty sure that if it was real, that it would have happened anyway. That's exactly how it would have played out. And it, I just, yeah, I'm just fucking pissed at this entire situation. But you know what? I don't think I'm gonna be pissed for very long. And you know, I'm probably gonna fucking jinx this, but right now I don't care. Um, Eventually, well, one person said to me, "We're not just going to forget this. This is in some entire important situation or something. We're gonna make a statement." No, eventually you will forget about him, and maybe he will have this one footnote in history. But I think most people are going to forget about him, and you know why? Cecil the Lion. No one talks about Cecil the Lion anymore, do they? I mean, okay, yeah. These two creatures were killed in completely different circumstances. One was killed pretty much illegally, and the guy who killed it got away with it. The other was killed legally for a reason. Well, that reason was to save a human life. Even so, no one talks about Cecil anymore. It's kind of like planking and the Harlem Shake. Big memes back in 2013. You don't hear anyone talking about Doge anymore. You don't hear anyone uploading Harlem Shake videos anymore. I mean, there was one from like March 12th this year, but it got so many dislikes, it makes you wonder what was the point. It's a fucking old meme, no one cares about it anymore. And you see, this is exactly what's going to happen to this situation. Eventually, people will forget about Harambe. Maybe some won't. Some won't, I guess. But most people are gonna forget about this entire situation, and in a few years' time, someone's gonna comment dicks out for Harambe, and people are gonna be like, dude, what the fuck? That happened years ago, no one cares anymore. I guarantee it. Or your money back. Although you're not actually paying any money, so... So yeah, let's see what happens. I reckon that it is going to happen. People are going to just forget about him one day. It may take a while. Always takes a while. But people will forget. So yeah, okay. I don't care anymore. So just disregard everything I said at the beginning. Don't shut up about it. Go on. Make your dicks out for Harambe comments. Have fun. It's not gonna last. And if I'm proved wrong, congratulations. I'm happy for you.